Hey there everybody, welcome back to Hustle House Performance Automotive. A little different video for y'all this week. Not so much a video, but more of like an update of what we had going on last week. Well, wasn't a whole lot going on, guys. We were under the weather, sicker than a bunch of dogs. So we didn't get really started filming or doing anything until Friday. And well, we were under the weather and didn't feel like talking a whole lot, so the videos kind of suffered a little bit, so please don't hold against us. This is just more of an update than entertainment. So we started off Friday afternoon picking up a set of torches from my brother Ed, and we commenced going into town and getting them filled up. A big project like we got going on here, and as rough a shape as it's in, we're going to need some heat and we're going to need the fire axe to kind of equal the odds a little bit. So we get started with the front of this thing. We had to chop the original ram spring pockets out of the front as they were tapered and for a larger diameter spring. And we put some flat plate pockets in it to weld the original centering cones from the XJ springs in it. Wasn't much of a problem. Pretty straightforward, but we were really dragging the bottom and under the weather, to say the least. So that brought us towards the evening, and we just hung her up early there for the night and got started early the next day. Next day came along, well, we figured that we got some nice weather out. We might as well go ahead and chop up what's left of Dale's chassis laying outside, upside down on the ground. So Sammy wasted no time. He just ripped the cord on the fire breathing grinder and he just commenced to chopping her up. So we got that thing all chopped up and got it out of her face and into the junk pile and out of our lives forever. Hot dog! Thanks, maybe. Brother Ed. We've been up against her tight today if we didn't have a torch.
So guys, whenever you got bead locks, make sure you put these on. I know they're hard to get to, but put them on with your fingers first and don't just impact them on because they cross thread. Then you end up with a mess like this. Every single one on this wheel was cross threaded.
You've got a couple of those down here, haven't we, huh?
What's that, Mama?
Trying to take rims off.
Remember Barracuda?
That's,
Daggone.
that was fun.
Sam's a little bit, he doesn't really believe the stuff that we run into down here. He's getting a taste of the Hustle House lifestyle down here.
Yeah, but he's getting lucky. It didn't take 4 or 5 hours. What's going on?
That would have took me a couple days. And I'd have took a couple sick days because I'd have been sick over it. But yeah, Sam got them off of there. By golly. We're going to swap out these leaf springs because somebody re-drilled the center bolts like 8 inches back to lengthen the wheelbase. And I don't like it. The leaf springs are all wonky now and they're all jacked up. And I don't want to leave Windrock with rear end like in one state and the Jeep coming back to Pennsylvania, you know. We've got another set of leaf springs Sam brought down out of they're XJ springs?
They're XJ springs.
Okay.
They're 3-inch XJ springs.
3-inch XJ spring We're going to throw on it. All right, let's get these wheels off of here. Big truck stuff. Somebody didn't buy new wheels. They just cut the centers out of a set of wheels and welded their centers in it. I could probably sit and drink a Mountain Dew with that guy, but that was one of the few things that we thought we got good was a set of wheels and tires. Tires were junk, wheels were homemade. Frame was junk. Front rear end's blowed out. The motor's probably going to start knocking now, you know, or transmission slip. So, hey, money well spent, you know how we roll down here. Hear that rear end? I'm sure that's about destroyed. There it is. What garbage. Oh boy. That'll do. Burn a hole in my shoe, honey. Burn all my shoestrings plumb off my shoe. Mark it up with our little bolt. Little bolt. Yes, sir. Hey, everybody. You asked for it. Here it is. A big old load of Hustle House Performance Automotive merch. Sweet Mama's been searching high and low for vendors worthy to carry the name of Hustle House Performance Automotive. Hey, we got it all right here. I told you, we loaded her up. We got a koozie with the little chubby puppy. Oh, look at the little girlie. Oh, Belvedere's loves it. Look at her. Hey, we got air fresheners. I can smell them from here. They ain't the biggest, but boy, they pack a punch. We got the YouTube certified Hustle House Performance Automotive. We do it nice because we do it twice air fresheners. Dingle dangle right off your rear view. The other side's a little messed up because that was the first attempt. You know, we did her nice the second time though. Hey, we got decals from big to great big to ginormous. Okay, Hustle House Performance Automotive license plates. Bolt her right on your Cherokee, you know, or your Bronco or whatever. And, you know, you put them on your toolbox, or if you make a mess on the floor, you can sweep it up and, you know.
Multi-purposes.
Hey, we got t-shirts. We got them from adult small through adult 3X. They are all black heather, and they are all very soft and comfy. So,
Oh, yeah.
try not to fall asleep wearing them because it feels like you got a cloud on your back. So there you have it. You asked for it, we delivered. Go get you some at www.buyhustlestuff.com. Now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Well, here's where we're at right now. We need to get the rear suspension hung on so we can check to see the rod height, you know, lift blocks, all that stuff. We got busted lift blocks, we got rear end is junk, we got lug nuts that are stripped off. Totally disgusted with our purchase of Dale. Wish I never met Dale, okay? So what we got to do now, we've got a set of Jeep springs, we've got a Dodge Ram frame. We swung this up, got center line of the bolt hole here. This is center line of it, okay? Now we're going to use these sliders, which were on the same center line as these leaf springs, since they used a Dodge rear end, and they're in the Dodge perch location. So what we did is we found the center of the slide, and we're going to imagine that this is sitting at rod height in the center. And we found the center in relation to that of this thing, and that would be the center right here, right? So from that center, we came up 3.5 inches, which will cut our frame off in half right before this thing here. So this is going to sit up underneath the frame, and it's going to end here. So we're going to have to chop it here, take this rivet out, get rid of this, and this will go up in there. And it'll end like the piece of 1x tubing will sit like right in this area. So, if that made any sense to you, that was my best attempt to tell you about what's in my head right now.
Yeah, that's
I probably better change that. I want to feel stupid whenever it flies apart and takes somebody out, and I knew it was bad.
she's the smart one. She's hiding.
Here, it's about 10 inches, so half of that would be 3, right? Half 10, 3, something like that. Somewhere in there. So, halfway between them two marks from that plane angle, be about yonder. It gets me right to the back edge of that hole. Is that about right? That's about right. That's what it looks like over there to me. I reckon what we'll do is we'll transpose this, something like that, because guessing's good enough for us. Is it not?
Sure.
About 2 5/8, probably totally different. 2 5/8. Do you see it? Or are you looking at it? 2 5/8. Okay, so guess we'll just jam it up underneath there. A couple clampy poos. Drop her under. Line up the center line. Where's your bolts at? Where'd they go? Seen them laying on the floor where I left them. Now they're gone. The bushings are ate up. The plastics are ate up. So I figure we'll just put them right back in there. There we got them.
Well, they worked this long. We'll just put some grease in there. It'll be fine.
Yeah. There's nothing on this thing that's not wore out. There is nothing on this machine that's not destroyed.
It's been used and abused.
Somebody got their money's worth. Ouch! Oh, man,
What happened?
Does that hurt. Daggone.
What happened to catch you?
I kicked that thing like a football with my shin. See me, buddy?
I can't tell. What's up?
I don't think that our thingy's down low enough for us to do any good with what we need to do. I think we're up too high. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay.
I can't move yet. My leg's cramping. I gotta wait for it to work out.
Take a load off Sammy. All right, now I think I might be pretty close to rod height with this rear end, but to know for sure, we're going to have to get that front end set, get the cones up in, the leaf springs, get the front end squared up, get it tacked in or momentarily attached, and then we'll get something under the lug nuts, equal size the whole way around, and we'll see what a rod height looks like front to back. And we can make adjustments. We have adjustable coil spring weight jacks in front we can put in if we need. And hopefully we don't need to do nothing with the back. I don't like to stack blocks or shims or nothing in the back. I will say I don't care for the pinion angle. It's a little excessive looking, but we'll see what it looks like whenever the drivetrain's in it. We may have to take that rear end out and cut the leaf spring plates off of it and reset that pinion angle, because that looks like it's going to be excessive to me. So, but we'll know better once we know better. Not getting me today, no sir. Well, everybody, what we got to do here now is we got to center this spring in here, and we got to weld the little cup that holds the spring centered in. Now, the spring center line on the rear end is a little narrower than the Dodge, so we're going to run it in here as tight as we can to where the spring's touching the inner side of this pocket, and then we'll cheat the bottom this way a little bit. That'll put her straight up in the air, because you don't want her like that. Or like, you want it straight. Can't find the plumb bob, so we'll just make us one. We're going to plumb bob her on down from that there little thingy we just welded on down to the rear end, and that's going to tell us where to put her. Where to put her at. Okay, we're 2 inches away from that hole. Okay, the other side we're right on top of the hole. So we split her 2 inches in half. That gives us half a 2. Let me get a calculator. I'll be right back. 1 inch. Okay, we're going to be 1 inch from that hole, and that'll give us our center. So we come over this way 1 inch on that one, and the other way 1 inch on that one, and that'll give us center. Right? 10-4. All right, so we needed to come in off of there an inch, right? This way?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'm just going to square off the front of this thing that's not square at all. That's what I'm going to do. And use a soapstone that's not sharp, because that's just how we roll. Okay, that should be the center of our spring, which is awesome because half the spring's over here now. You know what I mean? Sit over there. All right, well, if we had the patience to weld a track bottom mount in, this is where we would do that at. We would weld that in right now. But I really don't have the patience for it right now. This has to be cut out. So it does. And then this is going to have to be...
Yeah.
And there's not a pretty anything to weld to here. This is all a mess. Terrible mess. Well, turns out we did go ahead and throw that track bar bracket up on there and put some tacks on it, which enabled us to get this thing on all fours and get it up out of the way, right about the time that we ran out of steam for the night. So we commenced to getting this thing over on the other side and under the lift and under the helmet body, where we could drop it down and have a gander at what it's going to look like. Well, there it was. That's what we did last week. It wasn't a whole lot, but we figured we'd keep you on the know of what we got going on. So that's pretty much it for the rock crawler videos for a couple of weeks. We got to get caught up on some other things. We got some pretty cool content coming up this week. So we are all healed up and ready to roll. And I think you're going to like what we're working on next. So be sure to stop back for that. Anywho's, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate if you like, share, and subscribe. And stop back and see us. Thanks, guys.